Hello everybody, and welcome to another game of Starcraft 2. Today we have GGoatmachine, which I also think is like GGoatmachine. It's kind of like a play on it. I like it. And we have Soon the Terran up here at the top right. Now, I don't know who either of these players are. I don't know if either one of them is BM. I don't know anything about them. I know they're both Grandmaster level. Both of their MMRs were very high. One was in Grandmasters, one was in Masters, but their MMR was the same. So I imagine one of them has just played more than the other. That being said, the reason I'm telling you that is because I'm having trouble finding games that I want to cast. So, if you want your game cast, please send it to DarkSlayerTV@gmail.com. Just send the replay, give me a little message about it, and I'll get it casted and put on the channel. You do not need to be a certain league, preferably just an interesting game. But yeah, I've never seen this map before, like every game I've cast so far. I do like the look of it though. I like the colors. I like the vibrance of the red and the blues against the grays. But that's not the important part of a StarCraft 2 map. The important part is, what does the third look like? And honestly, going here, awful third. You've got 3 entrances to it. If you go up here, it's a bit better. You can kind of defend here and have your army like here to kind of defend up to your natural as well. Third base is difficult on this map. That's for damn sure. Both players are expanding early, which honestly, pretty expected in a PvT. I won't be surprised if we see, if it's like it used to be, maybe some early adepts, maybe some early blink stalkers from the Protoss, even maybe an Oracle. Actually, that would make sense. Oracle's pretty good in both matchups at this point. As for the Terran, we'll just have to see. So far, he's basically doing a 1-1-1. We'll have to see what he decides to follow up the factory with. We do have a reactor instantly, though, on the barracks, so we're going to get 2 Marines out pretty fast. That also means we're skipping a Reaper, and we're skipping getting Stim. So that tells me right there, Soon not really wanting to go for anything too early. That doesn't mean he can't pressure or do some kind of attack, but it means that he's probably not going to be going for a kill. Especially with the addition of the things like the battery shield now for the Protoss, making expanding a little bit easier in the early game. Early Stalker here, and yep, there's that Twilight Council. I won't be surprised if we see Blink pretty fast. Oh, another Stalker on the other side of the map I just noticed. He is going to notice the amount of Marines, which might concern him. I'm not 100% sure what the meta looks like right now, but that being said, that's a lot of Marines pretty fast. He'll probably want to get in there and see why that's the case, and it's this reactor. We have a Cyclone coming out. I assume this is to negate anything like Oracle that could come out. We have this Protoss trying to kill Marines, and he's killing Marines, which is good because it's going to put pressure on this natural, especially because we don't have a bunker to defend it, which is a really big deal. As you can see, he's going to just walk up now and potentially get SCVs. My only issue is the Stalker's now very, very low HP. In fact, loses one, and now with the Cyclone out, this Stalker can't do anything else. The Stalker's dead as well, and this Stalker will have to return home. There's that battery shield, or shield battery, like I said. Coming up now, we got a couple gateways coming out, which, by the way, means we haven't teched into anything except for the Twilight Council for the Blink, and we're chrono boosting it. And we killed as many Marines as we could. So that tells me right now that the Protoss wants to go for some sort of either extreme pressure timing push, or more than likely some sort of all-in. We'll have to kind of see what he decides to do with that. He is going to take a secret base for a third at the bottom right. Now, honestly, this doesn't surprise me, simply due to the fact that the third is so insane on this map. I will say it's a little surprising that he's scared to take it against a Terran, just because the map is so big, and Terran isn't exactly known for being able to stop you from taking a third, like, you know, Zerg is, for example. But still, he does decide to hide that, and a drop is making its way across the map, but it doesn't quite make it into the Protoss's base. I think this is an attack from Soon, because he knows that he killed some Stalkers. Maybe he thinks that he can actually get a kill off here. Oh, this was actually to try to take out the third. Wow. That's crazy. Remember how I was just saying Terran's not known for taking out your third? Well, look at that. He is going to try to move up the ramp here, see what he can see. He does see the Stalkers. Stalkers are going to take a siege hit. We do not want them taking tank hits. All right, and using that energy on the shield battery is not what we want, especially for tank hits where you're not trading damage at all. However, he does move forward. He's going to immediately try to take out the Cyclone. Blink is finished, meaning he's not going to lose any Stalkers, which is very good. The Cyclone's down, but we still have a Viking, a siege tank, 2 siege tanks, and a bunch of Marines rallying across the map right now. So maybe that was the point of this reactor. It was to get as many Marines out as possible for some kind of push like this. However, whenever he killed those Marines off, it might actually be saving him right now because the push isn't as strong as it could be. As these siege tanks slowly get more like forward, it's going to be more difficult. This blockers, the Stalkers do blink forward, but it's on top of a Terran army, and they kind of just get demolished. I don't know that that was the play. I think he was panicking, which I guess could be fair. Now, here's the thing, guys. I think there's a reason. Well, I was going to say that he's not trying to save this Nexus, but now he is. The reason I thought he might not be wanting to save it is because obviously Soon is unaware of the base that has been made down here in the bottom right. And I think it's important to know as well, by the way, guys, Soon, he's not expanding. He is still producing SCVs, so maybe he doesn't want this to be an all-in. Maybe he thinks he's done enough damage, it doesn't have to be an all-in. The Immortal does get a lot of damage there. 3 kills on that Immortal. And with this just being Marines left, yeah, I think he's going to bail out. That does mean that GoatMachine's going to hold this off, but that being said, look at the supply difference. Soon did very well there. His production was still going. He never stopped making SCVs. He doesn't have a third TC, though, so we're not going to see a third base. I guess we do have one almost finished, though. It's about halfway. We'll have to see where he decides to take it. But what he doesn't know, if we go to the Units tab, look at the... Whoa. I was going to say look at the probe difference. GoatMachine's behind right now. GoatMachine is behind on probes. There are more SCVs than there are probes. That is unfortunate. You almost always want to be ahead of a Terran in worker count, especially when you have a hidden third. That's actually really surprising. I wonder why he stopped all of his probe production. He still has. He just now started making one. I know his money is low, but something really simple you guys can learn early on in StarCraft is anytime you're macroing, and that should be the whole game, you can afford a probe. So what does that mean? It means I want to make this Stalker, but it means I won't be able to buy a probe until I have 50 minerals again. Buy the probe, wait for the Stalker. Now, there are exceptions. If you genuinely just don't have any money at all, and like this one Stalker might save you, yes, it's fine to build the Stalker, but you can almost, essentially the rule is, you can always afford a probe. Now, Soon again, trying to pressure this third base. Now, if GoatMachine watches this replay, nice stutter stepping from the Terran, by the way. However, those Zealots do have charge, so he is going to lose a lot of these. I think he should probably have picked up a long time ago. I think he's scared to pick up because of Blink, which is completely fair. He loses a lot of Marines there. But I was about to say, if Goat watches this replay, what he's going to notice is Soon doesn't really pressure the other side. So what Terran often does is, like, let's say they're going to attack your third or pressure your third, they'll drop the main. So that way you've got to split your Protoss army. You have to be able to keep up with the Terran's micro. But we're not really seeing that. So honestly, like, I forget what prompted me to say that, but he has nothing to be scared of. Staying on top of Soon right now is pretty much all the Protoss needs to do. However, we do have a Zealot drop coming in. Missile turret will not be done in time. We'll have to see if Soon does have an appropriate reaction. These are chargelets, which means they will be able to kill quite a few SCVs, by the way. No reaction from Soon yet. He does pull the army, but he did not pull a single SCV. He is losing so many SCVs right now. His entire mineral line is gone, but in the meantime, this is what I was talking about by attacking 2 spots at once. Instead, it's the Protoss going down here and attacking the third base of Soon, essentially doing a Terran strategy of making them pull the army one direction while attacking in another. However, GoatMachine losing his entire army in the process. He saves 3 Stalkers and a Zealot versus this entire bio blob from Soon. Now, I'll be honest, I don't see Soon walking across the map after that. So I think GoatMachine is going to be fine. And if we look at the tech, we can see Robo Bay on the way. We see more shield batteries going down. I'm assuming... Wait, where is that shield battery going down? In the main. I wonder if that's because of drops. It's gotta be, right? Yeah, and then he's got a photon cannon next to it. Okay. Soon now gonna come over here and start trying to attack the Protoss again. Does see the amount of zealots. I think Soon has made the decision to attack here. Well, one, because obviously he got the kill on the Protoss army, but two, he thinks this third is extremely late, right? He's not aware of the secret base. So he is probably now confused why the Protoss was able to resupply the way he was. So we might actually see a scout for this base now. It wouldn't be surprising. Something I did just notice, by the way, is the fact that he already has ghosts in his army. These are very, very fast ghosts in a PvT, at least compared to what I'm used to. These are very, very fast. We are going to move forward here again. There are no shield batteries at this base, so that he is just going to let the Terran have this base. I don't know that he needed to. I don't know. I think he might be scared of the EMPs. We have a scan and a stim in. Again, Protoss going to be running from the fight, which puts his zealots behind the army, by the way. He does try to re-engage, but the zealots were in a bad position, so like 2 charged in and died. We have a couple more charging in. He is going to actually try to chase the army now, which is strange because the army is in a much better place to fight now. I think it's because the Colossi have showed up, which does make sense. We'll see. He does try to pick up the army, and he's not going to run with it. He's going to go to the natural of GoatMachine. This can be very difficult to deal with as the Protoss. However, this is why one of the reasons we go early blink whenever we are fighting a Terran. He's trying to figure out if he's going to drop the army off or not. He wanted to, but making the smart decision, he's just not going to do it. I think that's the smartest thing he could have done there. I'm going to check the units really quick. We have 58 probes to 58 SCVs. Both are a little low. I'd like to see this number a lot higher. And we're not really producing any, which is quite strange. I'll be completely honest with you. We do have another base going down here instead for GoatMachine, but I'm going to tell you, I actually think this might be a harder base to take. Because if you take this one, you're spread a little thin, but as I said, Soon is kind of just attacking the same spot over and over again. He's not doing multi-pronged attacks. So if you just take this base, the best he can do is move his medevacs to here and then all the way up to your main, right? Which can suck, but it takes time. From here, if he attacks, he's gonna have to immediately, or if he attacks, he can pick up his units and be in the main in a split second. It can be a really big pain to deal with. We have a bunch of Vikings coming out now to deal with those Colossi. The army is getting awfully close here. I don't know if they mean to be getting close to each other. The Stalkers are gonna blink forward, try to get some Viking hits. Oh, big EMP on the Stalkers. This is one weak Protoss army. We have no Guardian Shield. We have no force fields. We need sentries in here. The lack of sentries is a little strange to me. I'm not gonna lie. Like, we have a lack of gas, but look at this secret base. We haven't taken either of the gases. You could easily take these gases. We have a gateway coming down and a proxy pylon, so that way the warp-ins are fast. We have a huge wraparound because we have the Protoss army going through the mid, but we have the Terran army also going through the mid. Will the Protoss react and turn around? It doesn't look like it. It looks like they might go for a base trade scenario. However, GoatMachine not microing his army. Soon now moving in, and he's just going to destroy this Protoss base. There is nothing here that can help this Protoss base. But that being said, it's somewhat similar situation in the Terran base as Protoss moves in to start attacking the Terran. Now, here's the thing. This is beneficial for the Terran, not the Protoss. Why? Because if the Terran needs to, first off, they already build in a wall-like manner, so getting in can be difficult, even if they don't have a lot of units there. It takes a lot longer. But two, they're going to be able to fly their buildings away. Protoss is not going to be able to do that. It does look like he is conceding his entire main base to this, and just going in for the base trade, which I find extremely strange. I would not do this in a million years as a Protoss. I probably would have recalled my army using the Nexus. However, I'm very confused as to why this recall is on cooldown. What did he recall? I have no idea what he supposedly recalled. And as I said, here's the Terran now flying their buildings away. We do have the Protoss probes up here now. I think he might try to rebuild up here at the top right. I think the Terran might accidentally find this secret base. And he does. I have a feeling he can see that.
Base under assault.
Can he see that? He can't see it. Okay, he doesn't see it yet, but he's going to be. I'm telling you, he's going to see that, and this is going to die. Right now, they're both just trying to clean units up. There are a bunch of turrets left up here in the main, though, that the Protoss has not found yet. He is going to keep his Zealot over here, though. I think he's just winning these, but he will hopefully see the turrets as he gets those add-ons. The Terran leaving some units behind to clean this up while running around with the main army. And yeah, we definitely see this now, right? We see this now? Yeah, we see it now. All right, so I wouldn't be surprised if that's the main location the Terran army is now going to try to get to. Goatmachine, seeing the situation, is going to try to get down there and protect it. I'll be honest with you, though. I don't know what army wins this. I think the Terran wins this. What do the upgrades look like? We got 2-2-1 on the Gateway units, and we have 1-2 on the Terran units. So Protoss does have the upgrade advantage right now. These units have been stemmed a lot. These medevacs are out of energy, so this is a weak Terran army. I actually think Protoss will win if it attacks into these units right now, which would be awful for the Terran. I think Protoss needs to potentially take this fight. I don't know if he wants to, though. I think he might be scared to. He's going to try. He's going to slowly move forward. He has to be careful. If the Zealots get too far forward, or the Colossi, they'll get sniped off slowly. Looks like they are going to try to avoid fighting each other. Protoss gets a Nexus down in the 3rd/4th location of Soon. Tons of supply depots being made here by Soon to try to catch that supply up, get the macro potentially in a place where they can reinforce. However, the armies are about to run into each other, and I'm not sure that either player was aware that that was about to happen. The Zealots were really far forward, though, so a lot of Zealots are going to go down without the support of the backup units. However, with all the units now coming together and that Colossi, this is what I was talking about. With the stemmed units, with the out-of-energy medevacs, there's nothing they could do. And there's the XD into a bunch of GG, Soon being a good sport. And the Protoss does take it. I am surprised. I will say that I am surprised the Protoss won that. I think Soon potentially may have been too much of a panic, stemmed one too many times. Because I'm telling you, I'm thinking that full health Terran army, positioned correctly, this is way closer. And when this is way closer, all of a sudden, these leftover buildings become way more important for each race. Especially with a planetary fortress up here. So, yeah. All right, guys, like I said, if you want your gamecast, darkslayertv@gmail.com. This was really fun to cast, and I'm going to keep trying to find games that seem fun and good to watch. And like, comment, subscribe, and see you guys in the next replay.